Hello everybody, this is Meg at Chasing Retro. I thought I would do a little video where I sort of wrap up the retro retail journal theme that I've been working on, and I thought we would play a little trivia game of sorts to start it off, and then I'll share some of my vintage retail memories with you, and then I will share something that I'm going to share with you online just for fun for other retro retail enthusiasts out there, such as myself. So let's play this little game first. This is just a slideshow I put together, and these are slogans of stores from days past. Some of these stores are still around. Some of them have sadly gone away. Some of these slogans are really old, some of them are more recent. And for stores that had more than one slogan, I put 2 or 3 on the same page. You'll see as we go along. Number 1, you can count on blank. Come see the softer side of blank. Good life, great price. Got your guesses? The answer is Sears. I remember their marketing campaign, come see the softer side of Sears. That was really cool. All right, next. All for You. Now this is a Southeast-based chain, so unless you live in the Southeast, you probably will not know this one. It's Belk. Originally, I think it was Belks, and then they shortened it later. This is an easy one. Always low prices, always. And watch for falling prices. Walmart. Next, expect more, pay less. Target. You don't really hear that one from Target anymore. Look how good you look now. Avon. I don't want to grow up. Toys R Us. You've got questions, we've got answers. Radio Shack. I loved the store growing up. I like to go inside and look at the radios and the robots. It's all inside, doing it right, and you're looking smarter than ever. And this is just a handful of the ones this store had. I feel like they change their slogan every 5 years or so. JCPenney. Select, don't settle. Gimbals. I've never actually been in a Gimbals before. The magic of blank. Macy's. Oh, I forgot, they also did We're a Part of Your Life. But I remember the magic of Macy's better. The customer is always right. Marshall Fields was the first one to pen that phrase, as far as I know. You're gonna love the way you look. We guarantee it. Men's Warehouse. Just what you're looking for. This is another Southeast-based department store chain. Upton's. I worked here in high school. I'm sure you've heard me talk about it before. Where service is state-of-the-art. And if you know this one, you know the little sound effect that came after this, and you're hearing it in your head right now. Circuit City. 2 words to the wise. Service merchandise. We trust the people. Spiegel. I thought it was funny that there's rhymes. Atlanta born, Atlanta owned, Atlanta managed. Riches. Down home, down the street. Piggly Wiggly. Fresh checked every day. Winn-Dixie. This is also a Southern chain. I apologize, I don't have many of the ones in maybe your part of the nation, but honestly, I don't know many of the names of those stores. So I was just racking my brain to come up with ones that at least some of you might know. The name of quality. Pick and Pay. Where shopping is a pleasure, and this one is still in use by this store. Publix. When you care enough to send the very best. Hallmark. Satisfaction guaranteed or your money back. Montgomery Ward. Nothing over 10 cents. Your money's worth more at a blank store. Woolworths. Expect more, pay less. Payless Shoes. The Real Deal Place. Roses. Dress better for less. Piece Goods Shop. It was a fabric store. I'm not sure how far out these extended into the country. Price without pride is no bargain. A&P. Wow, what a difference. Blockbuster Video. Power Buying Saves. Farmore. A Friend for Life. Revco. For a Change. Pier 1 Imports. America's Toy Store. KB Toys. The Saving Place. Kmart. Get it, got it, good. Sam Goody's Music. Extra low prices. Food Lion. So I hope you enjoyed that little quiz game. Now I wanted to share a few of my memories with you of retro retail. We'll start with some of my earliest memories of shopping and malls and things like that. I'm going to show a few pictures here of me at the mall, in various malls that I lived near growing up. Here's a picture of my sister and I at a fountain. You remember the beautiful, amazing fountains that malls used to have with the lush green plants growing next to them. This was just, I guess we were making a wish, throwing a penny in. Here's a picture of my sister sitting in Santa's lap. He's not too creepy of a Santa. I did not show you the picture of me sitting in Santa's lap at age 3 because he was very creepy and I really didn't want to share that. But she wanted me to go up there with her and stand next to her, so that's what I'm doing. We are about 8 years apart. I was probably about 12, if I'm guessing, 12 or 13. Here's a picture of my sister and I on a parquet. It wasn't a dance floor. I'm guessing they used this for like fashion shows. If you guys remember the fashion shows in the malls that department stores would put on, and they would have, I think, hired models that they used, but then they also had like volunteer model positions available for children and grown-ups It was always, we always loved to do the spring fashion show or go see it. We were not in it. And then here's a picture of my friends and I at my 8th birthday party, which was just a conglomeration of everything that I loved at the time. I wanted to go eat at McDonald's. I wanted to go to the mall and shop, and I wanted to ice skate at the mall at the end. And this is what we're doing. This is a mall in North Carolina. And it's kind of a bad picture because it was dark and the ice, I mean, it was nighttime and the ice rink was probably about to close. We usually close them down. And we were just acting silly and giggling. And then this is not a mall picture or even a retail store. Not really, but who remembers Showbiz Pizza? Later, I think it got bought by Chuck E. Cheese. So I had my 9th birthday party at Showbiz Pizza. I had grown up going there for, you know, as long as I could walk. But right before we moved away from North Carolina, my parents said, why don't you have your birthday party there? I was probably a little too old for it, but I didn't care. So here I am hugging Chuck E. Cheese at Showbiz Pizza. Let's see. I'm looking at pictures above me on another screen, so I'm going to show these to you in the picture as I go. But I gave you something to look at in the middle of showing you the photos. Okay, so some of these other stores are just stores that I remember in the various places I lived. Here's a grocery store where we lived when my dad was in the Army. Here's I don't think this is the exact one, but when you live on an Army base, you go to a commissary for groceries and a PX, which is post exchange for everything else. We also had a Walmart in the neighboring town. So those are just what those look like. If you've never been on an Army base, you probably have not seen one or gone in one. They're very interesting. We also had a store there called Nichols. It was not on base, it was off base. And my mom used to rent a Nintendo for me there. She did not want me to have a Nintendo. This was the first Nintendo, not the Super NES. This was the very first one with Mario and Luigi and Duck Hunt. And she didn't want me to have one because she knew, and she was probably right, that I would play it and I probably would not eat or sleep. I would just play it all the time and she'd have to set restrictions. So she gave me maybe 4 weekends a year and she let me rent a Nintendo from Friday to Sunday. And I made the most of that time that I had the Nintendo. And this is the store that had them to rent. I think you could get 2 free games with it, plus the games that come with it. And just wanted to put that memory in there. Here is a picture of me and my grandpa in the mall. It had one of those interior elevators that sort of looked like it was going to splash down in a fountain. I guess it would continue going underneath into the service bay if it kept going underneath, but it was a 2-story mall, so it only went up 1 and down 1. But I loved elevators. I wanted to ride them over and over, and my grandpa was so sweet to just get in it and ride up and down with me several times, and my mom took our picture. This is a picture of the inside of the mall that I remember. My best friend and I, it was the same mall it was a different mall than where we ice skated. I lived in a town in North Carolina that had 3 malls. This was the biggest, and I remember they added a 4th level right before we moved away, and the top level was just restaurants, which was amazing. Like, looking back, I'm like, oh my goodness, I don't think I realized how lucky we were to have such a big mall in such a mid-sized town. But this is called Four Seasons Town Center, I think. It is still there. I've been in it recently. It does not look that great anymore, but it's still alive and still kicking as of now. Here's a picture of a beloved Walmart, the way they used to look. I kind of miss them looking this way. I miss them playing country music on the radio speakers, and I miss the lime green price stickers instead of having to find the price on the shelf in front of it and being surprised when you get to the checkout because it's not what you thought it was going to be price-wise. Here is a picture of, so we have another southern local chain It's now defunct, I believe. It's called Bilo. And the Bilo stores tended to put gigantic cows on top of their buildings, or at least in the parking lot. Kind of like the Chick-fil-A cow, that fad that went around where they would have giant cows outside of Chick-fil-A. They would have a giant cow on top of this. And everybody that I've talked to who's younger than me does not believe this. They're like, nuh-uh, they never did that. And I'm like, yes, they did. I cannot find a photograph of one with a cow on top. So I told my husband that one day on a date day, we're gonna go to like our library's archive room, and we're gonna ask the archive city experts to help us find a photograph, because I would love to have one. I have no idea what happened to that cow when the Bilo went away. So this store was not in the slideshow because I don't think it had a slogan, but if you are a child of the 80s who was a teenager in the 90s, do you remember this store? Natural Wonders? Oh my goodness. This and the Disney store were two that my sister and I had to hit up every time we went to the mall. I was sort of a hippie in the 90s. I was like, save the planet, save the rainforest, save the koalas, save the dolphins, save everything. And I loved birds. I loved the ocean. I loved wind chimes. I loved rain sticks. I loved everything that the store sold. And I can still hear the music. I can still smell what it smelled like in here. Super fun. All right, the last thing that I wanted to share with you before I share a fun story that I've promised y'all a long time ago, and I'm finally going to deliver. I wanted to show you the children's shop where I worked when I was in college and a little bit beyond. It was a locally owned children's shop that opened. It was owned by two sisters in the 60s, and then they ended up selling it to another family with three sisters, and they ran it for another 15 years or so. I came in when the new sisters had it, and oh my goodness, it was the most fun. It was a specialty children's shop, so we sold, I guess you would call it specialty brands. Now, like, nobody really knows what specialty brands are because you can pretty much buy a lot of these brands online now without having to go to a special city to find them. But we sold Brio trains, Thomas the Tank, Playmobil, Lego, Madame Alexander dolls. We sold christening dresses. We sold a lot of smocked items, a lot of monogrammed items, applique, jumpers, bubbles, Johns, all of those things. Giant hair bows that all Southern women like to put in our little girls' hair. We did not sell many shoes because we had a specialty shoe store next door, which I was glad of because shoes, I think that would be just complicating. What else did we sell? We did sell some specialty Barbies, holiday Barbies. Unfortunately, we did get into the Beanie Baby craze. We sold those for a little while. We sold literary character merchandise like Madeline, you know, just those characters that, Eloise, those characters that were really big with the kids in the 90s that came out of children's books. And then we sold Ravensburger puzzles. We started selling like recycled plastic toys with the earthy movement and all of that. So fun. So we used to have promotion days. This kind of started when I was just working there, and then when I became a manager, I really pushed the promotion days. We would have special snacks. Here's a picture of me serving snacks. My friend who worked with me, we would make everything from scratch. We made punch, we made handmade cookies, trail mixes, peanut butter dipped pretzel ones. It was so fun. But the first special promotion day I remember, we had like a Madeline merchandise drop, and we had a Madeline costume that they had rented, and we drew straws, and I had to be Madeline. So it was, thankfully it was not a hot day. It was, I think, early spring, probably like early April. So I wasn't hot in it, but I was like, I am so embarrassed. I don't want to stand outside the store and wave at the traffic because we were on Main Street. I don't want to do this. And then I realized 5 minutes after being out there, nobody knows it's me. Unless I told them before, hey, I'm going to be Madeline next Saturday at the children's shop. So I put that costume on and I owned it. I started doing the Pee Wee Herman dance, walk like an Egyptian, all the hip hop dance moves in the 90s, making people laugh, honk their horns, wave. It was so, so fun. And I really hope it brought some people in. That was our intention. I didn't get to go inside and see, but I did see cars pulling in, so maybe it helped the business boost a little bit. It was really fun though. So these are just pictures that I've been showing you of the store and what it looked like and how we had our merchandise set up. So fun. And almost all of our signs, and this was the 90s, were we hand lettered them. Not like the artists that did it back in the day, but we used the backs of gift boxes and permanent markers, and we made our own signs inside. I think that's all I wanted to show you. I'll tell you the story now. So one of the funniest stories of shopping that I remember, other than the things that kids do, my best friend and I would go up the down escalators and down the up escalators. We would go when my mom was checking out, we would go and get like 10 credit card applications each and bring them home so we could play Office. And I was also guilty of hiding in the middle of the circular clothing racks and getting on top of the crossbars and scaring my mom. She thought I had been kidnapped. Don't recommend. But yeah, we did that. Another funny memory of my best friend and I is we would go into the dressing rooms when my mom was in there. We would get our own dressing room separate, shut the door, sit down on the little bench, and start talking in a language that we just made up. And we would just talk and laugh. And I guess it sounded sort of like French because we could hear people whispering. Like as they walked past, they're like, are those two girls in there speaking French? And these little old ladies would just look at us with the most puzzled looks, like, what are you guys doing? Where are you from? And we would just giggle. Maybe they knew all along that we were just being silly, but we thought we had fooled them. That's probably what it was. So for Easter, and I guess it was like 1989 or 90, my dad was deployed. My mom was single momming it with my sister and I. That was back in the day. For Easter, you dressed to the nines. You wore a dress, you had to get tights, new shoes. Usually little girls wore bonnets or big bows, gloves, a matching purse, flower corsage maybe. I mean, we did it all. And for some reason, we waited really late to get our shoes. We had our dresses, but it was probably when I was growing really fast and my shoes were like, oh no, Mom, my shoes are too tight. So we went to the mall on Saturday night after supper. Y'all can see how this is going so far. Saturday night after supper, Easter church service was the next morning at 11 a.m. We go in there. I knew what I wanted. It's what all my friends wore. Sam and Libby's ballet flats with a bow. I wanted white because, I wanted pink, but Mom, practical moms, she's like, no, you're going to get white because it will go with many more dresses, not just your Easter dress. I was like, okay, white's fine. Found them. They had my size, which is unusual because, I was between 8 and 8.5, still am. And that size usually goes first, especially in a color like white. But they had it. So I tried it on to make sure, yep, fits, let's go. They started making the announcements in the mall. This store will be closing in 10 minutes. So we're at the register. We're checking out. I can still see the register. It was in Belk. I think I said that already. There were 3 ladies working, and they were all extremely frazzled, anxious, they looked like they had had a day. I can imagine. I worked at the mall later. I know what the day before a holiday is. It's not fun. They were checking us out. My mom paid. There was another lady to our left and another lady to our right. They were all checking us out. They were helping each other. They were putting things in bags, blah, blah, blah. We get home. I take a bath. roll my hair in curlers as I did before church on special occasions. Getting in the bed, Mom said, probably, why don't you go ahead and lay out your outfit in the morning so you won't be rushing? And I said, okay. Went and got my belts bag, pulled the shoes out. Wait, this doesn't look like Salmon Libby box. It's not. Actually, it's really small. It's not a Salmon Libby box, and it's small. And I opened it, and it was not my white Salmon Libby's with the white bow. It was a pair of hot pink, really high-heeled, strappy ladies' shoes in probably a size 5, which is like 3. I mean, it's tiny. And I'm pretty sure I screamed. My mom came flying in there. Needless to say, the mall was closed. I wore my old shoes on Easter that day, and we went to exchange it. If not that afternoon, then I think they were probably closed on Easter, I guess the next Monday, or my mom did with me back in school. But it didn't hit me until about 2 days later. Wait a minute. I got someone else's pink shoes, which means some other lady in my hometown got home and opened the bag and found a pair of white Salmon Libby flats in size 8. So thank you for joining me for these vintage retail journals. It was a blast making them and sharing them with you, sharing our retail memories. A lot of you have already shared your retail memories, but if anything that I have said today has jarred more memories, please share them in a comment below. I also love storytelling, and I love really funny stories. So if you have anything like that, please share it also. One last thing before I go. For those of you who did not get a chance to purchase one of these journals, or you're working on one of your own, or you're just another retro retail enthusiast like me, yes, I'm one of the crazy ones. I'm actually a part of like 10 Facebook groups of retro retail enthusiasts. I watch videos of dead malls. I'm one of those people. Linked below is a YouTube playlist that I have put together for you guys to enjoy. That has about 75 videos of all different kinds. It will be just a random assortment of things that I think fit in the retro retail category. Some of them are serious, some of them are fun, some of them are awkward and maybe a little bit weird and cringy, but I really wanted to put that together and share it with y'all. Put it on in the background, enjoy it, have fun, and I will see you in the very next video. Talk to you soon. Bye.